You know, the television news business can be quite stressful, quite vigorous. Only people who have a very, very large threshold for good, bad, indifferent, to a lesser extent, can take working in that kind of an environment. It's part of the business. Granted, we all get that. And if you haven't gotten it, you got it right now. That being said, folks, um, apparently what is taking place at KRON has become more irksome and more toxic than ever. In fact, that was a quote from several of my sources, one of whom is the proverbial from the horse's mouth. It seems as if KRON has no leadership and has a rampant amount of misdirection, if there's any direction at all, in the newsroom, particularly in the morning. Now, while you watch, those of you that watch Channel 4, as it was known early on and still is, but mostly KRON 4, you probably don't know what's taking place because, well, professionals tend to do a job under the most dire of circumstances. They do it because most of them are professionals. I say most. There are people, though, at KRON, my sources, who tell me that being that they're leaderless and that a new general manager who's only been there a couple of months has not helped the situation, it explains the mass amount of onerous goings on at 900 Front, which, by the way, houses Channel 7 also. But in this instance, I'm talking about KRON. What's going on? Well, behind the scenes, how about how bad it's become? How about this? Believe it or not, they're looking for people to work as editors, as directors, technical directors, directors of any kind, newsroom personnel. Where are they getting these people? Of all places, they put an ad out. Word got to KCBS. And a lot of discontented people, for other reasons, are leaving KCBS and have worked, or at least trying to get a gig, out of all places, KRON. That's how much people they need. I mentioned the morning, and I talked to you guys the other day about the fact of this toxic, this very unpopular, I'm being diplomatic, director who runs the show there. And the best description I heard about this guy named Bear, Jason Bear, was that he plays favorites, that he screams and yells and is hardly, speaking of non-leadership, well, he ain't no leader, according to my sources, at KRON. And it has affected morale to the degree that it is a pain, I'm told, to go to work in the morning. And mind you, this is not a short turnaround. This is a long, long show. 4 a.m. until 10 a.m. And mind you, these people have to get there early. So some of these people are there much earlier than 4 o'clock in the morning. And facing this guy, Bear, apparently is causing massive rancor. And that's just in the morning. Now, look, the bottom line is this. There's more yet. There are other people at KRON creating strife. Like whom? The general manager, guy by the name of Flynn. You need to have a staff-wide meeting. You need to inject new, fresh air. Call in the natives, everybody. If you haven't done it already, and even if you have, it's not working. This is perhaps a biggie, what I'm about to tell you now. Of the characters that I'm hearing a lot of complaints about is a woman who's been there quite a while. She basically runs the place. She watches out for the money. She basically looks around to make sure that everybody is okay and that there's not any kind of, shall we say, problems. Some woman by the name of Fawcett, who is not in charge of HR, but she might as well be. She's been there that long. Somebody who worked at KRON, knows what's going on, told me she's basically fireproof because she watches the money, makes sure everything is ticking. Well, it's hard to talk to somebody like that when they proverbially know where the bodies are buried. But when it affects morale, then you got issues. I'm told this Fawcett lady has a particularly close relationship. I'm not suggesting romantic. I'm talking about a key conduit, knows Mr. Bear, the morning controversial director, very well, knows about a lot of people who are dissatisfied with Bear, yet nothing has transpired, which gives this Bear guy, I guess, more feelings that he's bulletproof himself. And he's been there over 10 years. At KRON, that's like an eternity. But this is where splinter groups and rumor and innuendo and all these little breakaway factions can create quite a storm. In the case of KRON, a big, big dust storm. Again, the new general manager hasn't done anything. So here's my suggestion, Mr. Flynn. Get in the office. Call a meeting. I know meetings are irksome these days, and most people just kind of fall asleep. But you have to, because you're not going to have a television station, well, at least one that is operational. Hey, look, in theory, they're putting on shows. But behind all the people that are gallantly and famously putting up with stuff, even the most tenured people, when you have problems like this, and I don't work there, but I'm going on the basis of what I hear and anonymous sources who work there, who have let me know and have given me a kind of a play-by-play as to the rancor currently infesting the place. It isn't good. And even you, KRON, and you have massive other problems. I realize your parent company, Nexstar, is in a league of its own, hasn't really provided any kind of leadership itself, is regarded as what's new these days, cheap and frugal. Another problem at KRON, at night, they still do not have a leading anchor duo. Justine Waldman, not effective. Grant Lotus, nice guy, professional. He's not a face of station anchor. Sorry. Vicky Liviakis, apparently coming and going and more interested in the social scene than she is at her gig at KRON-4. Now, I'm not in any way defacing Vicky Liviakis. She's a professional, but apparently not ready for prime time. I'm just giving you the facts. You have internal problems. You have external problems, KRON. You have a GM that apparently is working very, very methodically. Maybe he's got a grand scheme in mind. Whatever the case, get it. Get at it. There are issues at KRON-4. You might want to nip the bud now and get the stink out of the office, particularly the newsroom. I'm Rich Lieberman. This has been an exclusive from the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse. We'll see you later.